Welcome, listeners, to episode 8 of the Simply Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Josh K, and I'd like to thank you guys for tuning to today's episode. I'd like to obviously start the episode off by thanking our sponsor, IPS Insurance. Insurance so good, you'd hope something bad happens to you. I'd also like to thank you guys for supporting the show in any way that you can. But one final thank you is that your support and your sharing has actually gotten me my second sponsor for the episode. He is a guest on the show. Danny Clark at Harrow Sports would like to sponsor the episode, so I'd like to thank them for sponsoring the show. We have got a great episode this week, like I just mentioned. I know you wanted them. I know I wanted to have another conversation with them. The football guys, the fantasy experts, Marty and Dan-O are back again on the show. That's going to be super fun. We're going to be talking about the NFL season and how they think the progress has gone so far. Maybe even tell you guys about our new mid-season MVP picks, just recapping what we did the last time. But before we get to anything else, let's recap what's happening in sports. Yes, the LA Dodgers did win the World Series in Game 6 against the Tampa Bay Rays. It was pretty good, and I have to admit, the MLB did an amazing job during this time with COVID and everything going on. They played the most games of any sport that I know, and it was a success. Funny enough, actually in the World Series, Justin Turner, a player on the Dodgers, got pulled out in the 5th inning because he got a positive case of the coronavirus. Super weird, super crazy. The team did let him go back on the field to celebrate after they won, but, that's tough. I'm really happy they let him go back on, only because that just would have been so hard to be taken out of the game and not been allowed to celebrate with your team, with your friends, and your family because you got tested positive for the coronavirus. And even some of the LA Dodgers players came out later to say that, they didn't care. They were willing to suffer the consequences if that meant that Justin Turner could celebrate with the entire team. Talk about the NBA, like the NBA and the NHL, they're all on the off-season now. But we all know that means free agency and the NBA draft. The NBA draft is less than 2 weeks away, and there's a lot of hype around it. There's some big names. The youngest and third Ball brother, LaMelo Ball, guys like Anthony Edwards. These are some big names in the draft this year and big players these teams want to pick up. So you'll see in the next few weeks or even few days, these teams trying to trade up to get a good pick. And some of these teams making some pretty good trades so that they can try and get their hands on these big players, maybe these future stars. And finally, over to UFC, not something I know a lot about, but Khabib did recently retire officially, and a good parting ways gift to Dana White and the UFC did name him the best pound for pound fighter in the world. And John Jones, who Khabib passed for that title, was not happy. He didn't care about the reasons, obviously, for his retirement. He, called it fake. He thought that John Jones himself was the best pound for pound fighter in the world, and he would smoke Khabib, and all this drama that comes with sports. But it's crazy. And now that Khabib, 29-0, obviously showed a big case for his career. Is he the GOAT? I can't give an opinion on that because I don't know nearly enough about the UFC, but it is definitely a conversation to be had. And who knows? Maybe we'll have some people on the show in the near future that can talk about something like that and actually give some pretty good evidence and facts towards the topic. But that is it, guys. Like I said last week, sports are kind of on that rest period. But I'll try and get to you guys all the information that you need. But not go too far if it's not needed. But football, that's what I brought in guests here for. And Marty and Dan are the best guys I know when it comes to that sport. So let's get them in here. I'd like to welcome back the football duo, dynamic duo themselves, Marty and Dan-O. Guys, you there?
We here.
We're back, baby. Thanks for having us.
Are back on the show. Welcome back.
Josh, it's been 7 weeks since we last saw you. 7 simple weeks of simply sports.
Yes. Oh, I missed it. But we're back like we never left, and it's simply
sports.
A pleasure to be here again. Thanks for having us.
Here's
Awesome,
the thing,
boys.
though. Here's the thing. It gives us a chance to recap some of the things we spoke about in the first week.
Should we rewind back to a couple of our predictions in the first week, I wonder? Do you think we should go there?
You know what, Dan? We're going to get to that when we get to our mid-season MVP picks. Okay? We're going to get to that. We're going to bring up some of the stuff we spoke about before. Because we were right about some things, but we were way off about a lot of other things.
A lot has changed.
A lot has changed.
Come on, Dan. Keep the fans waiting. Keep them on the edge of their seats. We'll get to it. We'll get to it eventually. Okay, boys. Let's start us off. Like you said, it's been a long time, 7 weeks exactly, since we did our last episode.
It's 7 weeks,
and that's a lot in the football world. So, let's talk about general thoughts of what's been happening the last little bit.
I think it's been a tough season. There's been lots of injuries. There's been some unpredictable teams. There's been some coaching changes. There's been some COVID-19 issues. It's been a weird season.
Basically, what you're trying to say is there's been a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Am I right? Am I picking up what you're putting down?
Yeah, a little sprinkle of unpredictability.
I think that's what 2020 embodies a little bit. We're all on our toes. We're all holding our breaths here, and we're trying to just flush it out, right? So let's flush out the season so far. There's some teams that are gaining momentum, trying to separate from the pack, and then there's a lot of Klingons. There's a lot of teams rather around the middle of the pack that I can't quite put my finger on. I don't know. Yeah. Teams like the Browns, teams like the Rams. I mean, who are these guys?
Who are they?
Are they contenders, pretenders? I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know.
I simply don't. But, I mean, there's been some unbelievable football on display. That Sunday night football game the other day between the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Seahawks was one of my early picks. We'll get to that, though. Keep the fans on their toes, right, Joshie?
Where do you get there?
Sir. There we go.
That was one of the best football games I've seen in ages. And, wow, Kyler Murray can play the game.
Oh. Kyler Murray, huh? Reminds me of
7 weeks ago. Huh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
But yeah, right, the football has been incredible. But, man, as a fantasy sports player sitting on the outside looking in, it's been tough to manage. But I'd like to report to you, Josh, because you are our main sponsor. Dan and I sit currently 3rd and 4th in the football pool, and I'll let you decide who's 3rd and who's 4th. But I'll tell you one thing: I'm coming for the crown.
I don't want to sue anything. Don't want to get anyone pissed off. I don't want to make any assumptions.
Okay. You know what? It's trending. It's trending in the right direction, and just stay tuned because we are here to guide you to the crowns of your respective fantasy football leagues.
It's poetry.
Okay, so should we get right into that, Josh? Do you want to dive into the fantasy?
I know the people watching this. They know you guys as those fantasy experts. That's what I bring you on the show. You know so much about football, a lot more than I do. You can kind of balance it out here. But yeah, let's start off right now. Like you said earlier, so many injuries, right? Like, Odell out for the season.
Correct.
Dak Prescott out for the season, right? It's so many guys. So we'll start off. Fantasy players out there, they need to replace these guys. They're not just going to leave it open on their rosters, right? So who do you got as injury replacements for those big hitters?
Listen, I'm going to hand it over to Dan to start. Danny, who you got, boy?
Can I just introduce myself by saying that I went 17-0 last year in fantasy football. So I know a thing or two about the game, not to toot my own horn, but just stay with me, folks, while I guide you through this journey, okay?
Stay with him, folks. Stay with him.
You'll be okay there, Marty. Anyways, so let's get started with my number one waiver wire pickup of the week. And this guy might be available in a lot of leagues, but trust me, if you've been hanging on to this guy, he's very much worth it. His name is Deontay Johnson, and he's a wideout in the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. When he has been healthy, when he has played, he's been Big Ben Roethlisberger. That guy's had a couple plant-based burgers, let me tell you. Big Ben Roethlisberger is loving this guy, okay? They have chemistry. It's there. He's in his second year. He's an ascending wideout. You're going to love him. And if you don't have him, and if he's picked up already, trade for this guy. Trade low because he is a title maker, difference maker.
You know what? Okay? You know what I've noticed about Ben Roethlisberger over the years, fantasy-wise, is that he's an underneath guy. They got a couple of threats on the outside. Canadian Canadian Mapletron Claypool,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got Juju on the other side.
Ain't that the truth?
And so now he's looking for the guy who's going to be open, and it's Deontay all day. All day Deontay.
Yep.
Great hands.
It's
Great
simple.
hands.
It's simple. Simply get him on your team, and he will guide you to the promised land. That's my number one.
Simply pick him up. Simply do it. I'm going to go, what's interesting is that we had a lot of injuries at the beginning of the season, and some of those guys are starting to crawl back now. Some of those guys are getting healthy. And I'm looking at Jalen Reagor.
Wow.
Jalen Reagor, the wideout for the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's
okay?
very well said.
He started the season, broke his little pinky finger early, had a surgery, had a procedure. But, man, this guy coming out of Texas Christian University is fast, hands, route running is polished, and he's coming back. Now, listen, you may think the Eagles, they're a terrible team. Wentz can't move the ball. They got nothing going for them. But I think this guy's going to give them the spark they need. Jalen Reagor, if he's available, scoop.
I'm going to stick to that same theme here.
Yeah.
Another guy that's crawling back from injury, not quite ready for prime time yet, but he is lurking in the weeds, is Allen Lazard. Say it with me now. Allen Lazard.
The Lizard.
And who's throwing Allen Lazard the ball, I wonder,
That's
Marty?
A-Rod.
That's Aaron Rodgers. Okay, my preseason MVP pick. Oop, skipping ahead there a bit, but let's draw it back. Anyways, we all know that Aaron Rodgers can throw the biscuit in the basket.
Oh, he put that biscuit right in the basket.
So Allen Lazard was an ascending youngster coming into his own before he got injured. I think it was his groin, maybe a hamstring. Anyways.
Core muscle. It was a core muscle injury.
He's roaring to go. Okay? He's roaring to go. His abdomens are sharp. He's probably been laughing a bunch. He's feeling good, okay? And Allen Lazard, I know he's on the waiver wire in tons of leagues. Do not sleep on him. We have simply slept on him for too long. Go get him.
Simply scoop Lazard. Now's the time. Now's the time to get him.
Please.
The new term for the football fantasy boys, simply scoop. Remember that.
Simply scoop.
Remember that.
Two scoops of raisins.
All the way home to the ice cream shop.
Make one of those scoops Jalen, one of those scoops Lazard. You're looking good. Plus, Lazard was drafted in a lot of pools. And people just dropped him because he had that core muscle injury, whatever that is. I don't have any core muscles, so I'm not familiar with what an injury to them would feel like.
They're coming in. I laugh a lot. I love to laugh.
That's how you do it?
I love to laugh.
Okay, I'm gonna go off the wide receiver tip. I'm gonna trend towards a couple of running backs. Let me take two running backs here, okay?
Double scoop it.
What happens is you get these young running backs on teams. They don't get any snaps. Nobody knows who they are. And then slowly they creep their way up the depth chart via injury, via poor performance. All of a sudden, these guys who had no business being on the fantasy radar are now once again relevant. I'm going to give you two guys. One of the guys, Jermichael Hasty.
Say it again.
He's tasty. It's the Hasty. Jermichael Hasty.
Hasty.
Don't be hasty. Now pick his ass up.
Mm-hmm.
He is looking like he's the top dog in San Francisco.
I believe he's playing tonight, actually.
Playing tonight. Last week he started. He was a little shaky, but he scored. And they showed that they're going to give him the ball. And so Hasty, I love Jermichael Hasty. He may not be available.
Say that name again for me one more time.
Jermichael Hasty.
Hasty and tasty.
That's a tasty scoop. The next one I got for you is Dede Dallas. Okay? Dede Dallas, you saw him play last week, did you not?
Are you picking the guys with the best names in football right now? Is that
Double
what you're doing?
Dede
I'd
Dallas.
be biased a little, Martin. You're just going for the best names.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you got to draft with your heart, okay? That's it.
Big names stick.
Big
names
name.
stick.
Dede Dallas, quick, explosive, north-south runner, little guy. He gets through the blocks. He just puts his foot in the ground, digs, and goes north. He's impressive. I liked him. So Dede, he may not be available, but keep your eye out for Dede Dallas because Seahawks have some injuries they're dealing with in the backfield as well. So Dede's going to play this week, and I think Dede's going to be sensational. What do you think, Danny?
Yeah, I mean that's good. I just I am gonna go with another back. I'm trending in another direction, and this one is close to my heart because he's one of my favorite guys on my fantasy team, Myles Gaskin. Gaskin, say it again. He just went down with an injury, so I'm gonna pick up his replacement. His name is Jordan Howard, longtime veteran, knows how to run the ball, and then Tua, what's his last name? Tagliavio. anyways, that the young superstar quarterback who's coming into his own, he needs a safety blanket, right? He's young. He's a youngster. Still needs that blanket at night. So he needs to give the ball to his running back, and that's Jordan Howard.
Night, Tua. I'm going to disagree with you, Danny. I'm going to disagree with you.
Oh, we have our first.
Get the thing going. Get the thing going. There it is.
How dare you?
How dare you? Listen, it's not often that
Disagreement.
Josh Howard is a plotter. He's slow. He's old. The man has been a healthy scratch for the past 4 weeks. Josh Howard, I don't think it's the guy. They got a next guy behind him, Matty Breda. Is it Breda or Breda?
He's about that bread, son. Breda.
We're calling him Matty Breda. Okay, he's going to get that bread this weekend. I think they feed him the ball, not Josh Howard. I think they give it to the youthful legs, Matt Breda. Pick him up. Scoop him.
I respect you, but I can't agree. I cannot agree.
That's all right.
But I love you.
Hey,
no, listen.
It's all right.
There's no
one will take it personally. No one takes it personally.
Okay, Joshy, what do you think about those picks? Or is that okay for you?
Dudes, like I said, I can't have much of an opinion when it comes to the conversation in NFL and football, but, you seem like you know what you're talking about. Me being a football, if I was a fantasy player that knew nothing they were talking about, I'd listen to you. I can't lie.
But pat me on the back, baby.
Anyway, we hope that works out for you. To recap, what is it? Rhaegar, Lazard, Dede Dallas, Josh Howard, Matty Breda, Deontay Johnson. Some solid picks.
Yep, you got options, folks. And live
viewers out there, keep that list. You keep that 10 seconds. There's 10 seconds of beauty right there out of Martin's cam. Okay, boys. Let's transition here. We've been talking about players. We've been talking about teams. Let's talk about some games. We're coming up.
Sure.
You told you 49ers are playing tonight. We've got lots of games this Sunday, obviously, like usual. And let me hear it. What are your most favorite games this week? What are you most excited to watch?
Listen, I'm glad you said transition.
I'm excited.
I've been transitioning for years to a fantasy football guru. I am still in transition.
The
goal is not reached.
He's coming into his own, though.
I'm
That's
getting
for sure.
Listen, you know what game I like this week? God, we talk about the Seahawks a lot. Seahawks-Bills. Come on. That's classic. It's a classic.
It's an instant classic.
These are two heavy-hitting offenses.
Yeah.
Okay? Two defenses that can't stop many people. They could probably stop Josh Howard, though. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, there he goes again. He will not let me live that down.
They can
There
stop
he goes
Josh Howard.
again.
I can stop Josh Howard. Josh Howard is not getting a yard on me. Trust me.
There goes that man again.
Okay, but let me say this. Seahawks-Bills, man, the Bills are so close to our heart. They are our geographical hometown team. They're looking fantastic. You got to feel good about them. And this is their proving ground. They're going to come in. They're playing one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Their defense going to be put to the test. And listen, I think it's going to be the best game to watch this week. I can't wait. Danny, what do you think?
I mean, that's definitely going to be a hard-hitting, smash and bash kind of game. Definitely.
That's what you always want to look for, right? Those two offenses just going back and forth, back at each other.
Absolutely. I would give the edge to the Seahawks in that one, but I've been wrong once before. That was a long time ago, though. But anyways, I am a little bit biased in this one because I'm a Ravens fan. I love the color purple, and as a kid, I gravitated toward the Ravens. So
I love the color purple.
They are playing the Indy Colts. These are both teams kind of in the same juncture of their season. They're both 5-2. They're both trying to ascend. They're both trying to get some separation. And this is a real character building and statement game. So whoever can take this game, they're off to the races. Watch out for this one. There's also the Bucks and the Saints.
That's going to be good.
That is the Sunday night football game.
That's the dirty South lineup.
And that is something to circle.
The battle of the vet quarterbacks. That's what I like to see.
Simply circle it, sir.
Circle those games. What would you give us? Three games that you're most excited to watch tonight. You got the Bills and the Seahawks. You got the Bucks and the Saints, and you got the Ravens and the Colts.
Your memory is impeccable, sir.
I don't know how you do it, Josh. You're damn good at this. It's simple.
Circle those, viewers. Circle those. You hear them first. Okay, and then lastly, I know, Dan, I know you didn't want to say it earlier. We want to keep those fans on the edge of their seats. but I think it's about time now. I think it's about time we give them what they've been waiting for. It's been 7 weeks since the first recap we gave, and you guys both made some pretty bold, pretty good MVP midseason predictions. So, 7 weeks later, we're now at the midway point of the season. I want to see if your guys have changed and what you guys think. So what do you think? Midseason MVP picks?
I knew that question was coming. I knew that question was coming.
I love this question. Danny, kick us off. Who you got?
All right, let's circle back. Let's just rewind.
Yeah, rewind. Take it back, Danny.
I believe my calculations are correct that I went with Aaron Rodgers as my MVP pick. And you know what? He's in the conversation.
That's a strong pick for sure. Yeah.
But I think I would have to probably give the nod to a man by the name of Russell Wilson at this point in the season.
Whoa.
Again, we're circling back to the Seahawks. Could they be in the Super Bowl this year? You know what? We keep bringing them up. Time will tell. But they're looking pretty damn good, and this guy is looking even better. Okay, Sierra, again, shouts out to you. I know you're watching.
Level up.
You're gorgeous. And that's about all I have to say about that.
Level up. Yep. Listen, I'm going to say that I agree with you. I love Russell Wilson.
So what's the thing, though? Why do you think he's passing your boy Aaron Rodgers? Or you just think he's outperforming him?
Listen, it comes down to this. It comes down to it like this: is that A-Rod is A-Rod, man. He's slinging the ball. But what Russell Wilson does with his feet, moving that offense, keeping everybody calm, cool, and collected, he just looks like he's on a different level right now. And he can't be touched. He's making Tyler Lockett, who really shouldn't be catching that many balls. He's making him look like Terrell Owens out there. It's incredible. I don't understand like it. He's a good player. But listen, I'm going to give it to you here. I'm going to just tell you something. I think Ben Roethlisberger's got to be talked about.
Okay? Big Ben, there he goes again.
There he is.
They're 7-0. They're 7-0.
Been eating those plant-based burgers.
Nobody thought Pittsburgh was going to do anything this year. They're 7-0. They beat some monsters. I'm so impressed with Big Ben.
He's like a bad cold. He just will not go away. This guy just does it again and again and again. He's coming back. It's unbelievable.
That's true.
He just brings back the game.
But let's just rewind here, okay? Let's talk about my early season MVP pick with Kyler Murray, okay? Kyler Murray. And even though the Arizona Cardinals are not performing in the standings like we thought they would, let me give you a little bit of Kyler's stats right now. Most rushing yards for a quarterback. Okay? Most rushing touchdowns for a quarterback. He is second in the league in rushing in touchdowns altogether. One more. He has the most overall yards in the league. I mean,
it's simple.
It's simple. They got to win. That's what they're missing. They're missing that little element of the win column. But, man, Kyler looks good. And when I see you again, Josh.
And we will see you.
And we will see you again.
Oh, yes.
We're going to talk about Kyler's stats then. But I love Russell Wilson. He's an MVP pick for sure. Ben Roethlisberger, I'm going with him.
See, that's that type of stuff I love to hear that type of stuff, especially in sports when you could go from Kyler Murray, who's, correct me if I'm wrong, is he in his second year?
That's right, Josh.
Second year, Josh?
You know your
I know a little bit. Second year versus Ben Roethlisberger, which must be in what would you say,
he's
way over 10?
He's up there.
Right? So, those are two total opposites, and that's what you love to see in sports.
Yeah, simple sports.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been a great season. We're always available. If you have any, if you got any specific questions you want to ask, slide in Danny's DMs. I have his password. I've been reading his DMs for years now. So we'll be able to connect, and we hope that we can help anybody out who's got any type of questions at all. Josh,
feel free to reach out, guys, and remember, safety third. Have fun out there. Stay safe.
Hell of a show you put together here, Josh.
Great. I really appreciate it, Martin, and I appreciate you boys coming on, sharing your knowledge. I don't have anywhere near that source of knowledge for the NFL. So, thanks so much for coming on, guys. Thanks, guys, for watching the episode. If you could subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, comment any suggestions you think yes, as you can see, we changed the format a little. We changed some of the technology, some of the layout. Let me know if you thought it was great, or if you liked the other one better. I'd like to know your opinions on the changes. I like to try and grow this show and change as much as I can to make it better. If you can share, that is the number one thing for this right now. If I want to grow it, get it to as many people as possible, please share on whatever you'd like to. But if not, no pressure. That's all I can ask. I'd once again like to thank our sponsor, IPS Insurance. Without them, none of this would be possible. Thanks so much to them. And if you weren't able to watch the show on YouTube, no problem. You can watch it on Spotify when you're doing some homework, walking to school, walking the dog, whatever you like. But if I can suggest YouTube, it gives that extra bit of entertainment. Watching me converse with our guests and the whole background and layout adds that sort of feeling and vibe to the show. So if I can suggest, watch it on YouTube. But that's it for me, guys. I'm going to be signing off. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.